less interested.
First, and most importantly, what team do you on?
I'm yellow. I'm all about the yellow. Yeah.
I'm Team Yellow. Wow.
Me too.
Yeah.
Team Instinct, anyone out there?
No.
Team Instinct, there we go. I'm not going to try and button that back up on stage.
It's crazy that the creator of the game couldn't even properly answer the question, what team are you? Which refers to one of the 3 factions players can join once they reach level 5. Team Valor, which is red, Team Mystic, which is blue, or Team Instinct, which is yellow.
Right.
He just said the yellow one. The interviewer was clearly a massive Pokemon fan, and Hanky seemed like the total opposite.
Yeah.
It was disappointing to players.
That's like, that what you just observed is a perfect visualization of the relationship between the people who own these big corporations that produce this slop that's destroying our society, whether we're talking about food, whether we're talking about gaming, content, media, all of it. The people at the very top, they couldn't care less about it. They just want to make you care a lot about it so that you can give them money. Yeah. They think it's all fucking stupid.
There's the most viral game of 2016 surrounding one of the most beloved IPs of all time.
He sees all of the Pokemon Go players and he's like, look at these brain-dead, mindless sheep that's just walking around, scanning their environment for me to make millions of dollars and gift it to the CIA and the FBI, which they're then going to use to, track everybody. Yeah, wow.
And was being spearheaded by a boring corporate suit. But what was particularly interesting was his insights on working with governments before they launched the game in different countries.
So we're still in the rollout phase of the game.
Do you know what the next rollout country is going to be?
I have a pretty good idea, but it is pending getting things squared away on the government relations side and getting everything prepared. So I can't say right now. But it has been interesting that, we didn't really anticipate...
This guy's hairstyle is also really distracting.
The level to which it would attract interest from government.
It's like the 2011 Justin Bieber, dude. You're in your, 40s, your late 40s.
And policy people and things like that. But that's become part of the dialogue at this point. So we're getting, more well-versed in those skills.
Now, we don't really know what interests governments had with the game. I imagine governments had obvious concerns, like tens of thousands of people gathering in parks, people blindly walking into traffic, etc. But Hanky didn't use the word concerns. He said interests.
Right.
Another thing to note was that South Korea refused to let Google export its detailed government map data to foreign servers for fear that it could expose military bases and other sensitive locations to North Korea, which made Pokemon Go nearly impossible to launch across most of South Korea. China also heavily regulates foreign access to geographic data and blocked Google Maps entirely because it considers detailed mapping a matter of national security.
I think Playhop is for kids, but let me prove you wrong. There are many different types of games on Playhop, such as simulators, puzzles, arcades, sports. Basically, there's something for everyone. My favorite games are strategies with multiplier games, because there's nothing more satisfying than watching your army grow from 1 to 1,000,000. For real, Playhop has more than 20...
security. In other words, while most players saw Pokemon Go as a harmless mobile game, entire governments were already treating the data underneath it like a potentially dangerous military asset. The question is, did Niantic Labs know that they were wielding a dangerous military asset? Well, there was this one controversy that came up where iPhone users discovered that signing in through Google gave Niantic full access to their accounts. Per Google's own description, this meant access to both view and modify anything in the account. To many, they believed that this meant unfiltered access to their images, videos, and emails, although it wasn't that simple. Niantic stated that it only had access to the user's IDs and email addresses, and Google personally verified that no additional information was given to the company. So since Niantic couldn't steal the data just by someone making an account, they had to trick users into giving it up for free. And what resulted was one of the most ambitious geospatial data collection projects ever hidden behind a mobile game, one whose technology would later facilitate devastating military operations.
Wow.
4 years after the game's release, Niantic introduced an interesting new feature, AR mapping tasks. Pokestops marked by notable landmarks would now offer users rewards if they completed AR scanning. These required players to scan the surrounding area.
Wow.
For about 20 to 30 seconds. Interesting.
Oh, that's insane, dude. I didn't even know. Wow, bro. It couldn't have been more obvious what they're doing. They're like, yeah, so here's what we need you to do. Okay, we want you to go into your house and just do a slow 360. And if you do that, you get a special Poke badge. That might as well. Now, of course, we realize that these are public places. They weren't telling you to do that in your house. But it's like, you would think that would occur to people what's going on, right? That shit would have occurred to me, I really believe. It's like, this is kind of weird. I don't get how, like, this plays into the Pokemon catching part. This feels like I'm doing a whole other thing.
For children's accounts. From the player's perspective, the feature was relatively harmless. They had already become accustomed to Pokemon Go tracking their location and having access to their cameras, so when Niantic offered free rewards with the promise of game improvements, players were eager to take part. Niantic claimed that the data collected would inform the game's engine to understand the depth and complexity of the real world. This would make for a way more immersive experience, in which virtual objects could seamlessly integrate with the world around them.
And they got you to do it for free. Wow.
In hindsight, it seems like an evil genius plan.
Right.
The man who created Google Earth and worked directly with the CIA and international intelligence organizations was getting people to voluntarily 3D scan the world around them while they think they're just helping Niantic make a better Pokemon game.
Right.
These scans would help develop a much larger technology called Lightshift GPS, which stands for Visual Positioning System. The satellite-based technology of GPS was useful, but not optimized for the best augmented reality experience. For example, it might be able to tell you that you're near a statue, but it's typically incapable of understanding where you are relative to the landmark, whether you are behind it or in front of it, if you are 3 feet away or 30 feet away. This information isn't important when getting general directions for a road trip, but when it comes to making accurate drone strikes on enemy base camps without harming innocent civilians, it can make a massive difference. When players scanned a landmark, they recorded more than just a video. They tracked the latitude, longitude, and altitude of the user's device. It also utilized the phone's accelerometer and gyroscope, allowing the system to consider the phone's position and orientation. Considering all of this data, the scans could be used to make reliable inferences about the user's distance from both the landmark itself and the surrounding environment. Every scan submitted was unique, taken at different angles, positions, and distances. Each video was divided into approximately 300 individual images, all of which were pieced together with other scans to create a full 3D digital map of the area. Essentially, Niantic was creating the world's largest, most detailed 3D scan of the entire world, and Pokemon Go players were helping for the most innocent intentions. VPS could compare the player's live footage against this virtual world to determine the player's exact location, which helped influence where objects and Pokemon would be anchored within the real world. Think about how NPCs in Grand Theft Auto sometimes mindlessly walk around with no intention or logic applied to them. Pokemon Go was similar initially, but with this new technology, the Pokemon could now be programmed to interact with their surroundings. Instead of being mindlessly placed on the ground, they would be able to hide behind the landmarks or even climb on top of them. Put simply, the goal of this technology was to make a near-perfect replica of the world the way that humans would experience it, so that the Pokemon in the game could literally interact with the world the same way a human might. And players were willing to sacrifice 30 seconds of their day if it meant free rewards and a better experience down the line. And by November of 2022, Niantic revealed that they had developed more than 120,000 digital maps of various locations throughout the globe. The technology this powerful would be
With K-12, school comes right to your door. This is the kindergarten math box. It comes with everything you need to learn, including an activity book, lesson guide, and school color times. Enroll today.
Don't look down. In Rooftop Run, every jump is a heart-pounding race for survival. Leap across rooftops, smash through barriers, dodge enemies, and grab every golden coin in your path. Keep your speed, nail your timing, and chase that perfect run from start to finish. One mistake and it's over. Feel the rush. Play now on playgamma.com.
Pool would be wasted if it were only used for Pokemon Go.
For sure.
Niantic understood this easily. While they stated their goal was always to give people tools to become 21st century explorers, it felt like they were leaving a massive opportunity on the table. GPS also had a major limitation. The system was only able to recognize information it had already been given. If a landmark had only been scanned from the front, the model would not be as effective when used from behind. And if it had received no prior information on a landmark, there was nothing the model could work with to provide an immersive experience. They had now gathered enough data for 1 million different waypoint locations to have full GPS integrations, but there were still millions of locations that had not been fully scanned. Niantic sought to fix this issue with their large geospatial model announced in 2024. The goal was to take all of the combined data they had collected and use AI to make inferred guesses about partially unscanned locations. Niantic uses a church as an example. If players had only scanned the front of a particular church, the GPS technology might be unable to recognize footage taken from behind. But the large geospatial model could infer based on thousands of other churches that had been fully scanned and make an educated prediction about what the back of that specific church would actually look like.
Okay.
Humans have the ability to do this naturally. We are capable of applying our personal lived experience to make inferences about our environment. If I showed you the front of a house, you could probably make a pretty good guess about what the back of it looks like. You might not get every detail right, but you'd expect windows in roughly the same places, a back door, maybe an AC unit, fence, or patio. Your brain does not know that specific house. It's recognizing patterns from thousands of houses you've seen before. Niantic wanted AI to learn that same instinct, but with near perfect precision. And only months after announcing their large geospatial model, Niantic made the shocking decision to sell Pokemon Go. While Scopely Incorporated acquired the rights to Niantic's catalog of games for $3.5 billion, Niantic retained all of the data, research, and technology they had been developing over the last decade, which includes their GPS and geospatial models. In other words, they kept their most valuable IP, sold the rest of their got the data, and were ready to move on.
Yeah, they never cared about Pokemon. They never cared at all.
Pokemon in the dust, which to some makes it seem like they never cared about Pokemon in the first place, and it was all a part of a bigger operation.
For sure.
The company shifted its focus away from video game development, and under the leadership of John Hankey, began working on Niantic Spatial. The company made it clear this technology had far more potential than improving augmented reality experiences. It had the ability to help both humans and machines to understand the world and navigate it. Instead of figuring out where to spawn Pokemon, the technology could be used to train a robot or AI-powered vehicles to determine their locations without the use of GPS. Like, you know how outside of your town, you don't really know where you're going or where you are, but thankfully you have access to GPS on your phone. Well, they're working on a technology for machines, robots, or vehicles that would essentially install a perfect one...
Bro, the robots, they're here, but they really are coming, bro. It's going to get to a point where we are going to be interacting with robots on a very regular basis. It's coming.
One understanding of the entire world. So you could theoretically place it anywhere and it'll know exactly where it is, exactly how to do it, where it needs to go in the simplest way possible. And initially, this tool was being marketed as something that could enhance manufacturing, warehousing, logistics, construction, tourism, entertainment, and education. Like a warehouse worker could use the VPS technology to navigate the facility and streamline the process of conducting inventory management instead of just like walking around the building and understanding where things are and where they need to go. But Niantic was also getting involved in areas that most might not have expected. This became clear when Niantic Spatial announced it was teaming up with a company called Vanter in December of 2025. While Niantic had its roots in the gaming industry, Vanter had always been a part of the intelligence and defense sectors. They're best known for creating mapping systems used by military commanders and soldiers to analyze the battlefield and coordinate. This partnership may seem bizarre on the surface, but it was actually a perfect match. Vanter had developed a visual positioning system called Raptor, similar to the Yes, Raptor was capable of determining its location by analyzing its environment and making inferences. When a drone became disconnected from GPS signal, it could utilize Raptor to assess the roads, buildings, and hills to figure out its position relative to Vanter's own personal map. However, the technology was relatively limited as it gathered data from airborne drone footage, meaning its pool of data was limited to the sky. This is where the partnership really starts to make sense. The VPS system did everything Raptor did, but on the ground floor. Specifically, it gave the same tools to both troops on the ground as well as AI-controlled robots and vehicles. With Vanter in the sky and Niantic on the ground, the two companies hope to create a shared digital map that can be used by drones, vehicles, and people with or without the use of GPS to stay connected. Was Niantic developing weapons or making decisions in regards to active combat? No. They were playing a role that is arguably just as important. They were helping AI-powered drones understand.
This is the furniture America has waited 250 years for. Bob Sedona Power Reclining Sofa, genuine leather seats, the Homeworks Dining Set, lift top storage, the Solitude Bedroom, for 700 5-star reviews, and the Playdate Sectional, made from 100% American ambition.
Celebrate America's favorite furniture and Bob's.
Where America shops for furniture.
To understand where they were and help them stay coordinated with personnel on the ground. The technology, originally marketed as a way to make your Pokemon catching experience more immersive, was now helping drones, vehicles, and soldiers coordinate on the battlefield.
Go to your room.
Niantic has continued to become a more prominent part of the defense sector. Recently, the visual positioning system received awardable status.
It's over. It's over.
Trademark solutions, meaning that government agencies
I'll let him come back in so you can keep
purchase the technology for their own use. And taking a look at Niantic Spatial's website, they appear to have struck deals with the United States Coast Guard and the Air Force. So this isn't some kind of crazy conspiracy theory. The data they gathered through Pokemon Go was mapping technology that is literally being used by the military. I'm not sure how many Pokemon Go players who agreed to participate in AR scanning would have done so knowing that this was going to be used for the military. Which is why now tons of players feel like they were straight up lied to. When Niantic first introduced the AR scanning feature, the company was transparent about their intentions to an extent. It told players that these scans would be used to create a better gaming experience. And while they did make it clear that this data would be used in apps outside of Pokemon Go, I'm not sure if anyone expected military defense applications. Which is why it seems as though this was always the purpose of creating this technology. Think about it, Niantic was never really a game developer. They have always been a mapping company. Think about their origins. John Hankey's first business, Keyhole, had direct ties to the CIA. He later went on to work a high-value job in Google's Geo division. He always has been aware of the massive price tag governments are willing to place on data. With Pokemon Go, Niantic had access to information that wasn't available anywhere else. Pokemon Go was meant to be a family-friendly experience. It drew players in with the promise of getting to be fully immersed into a core part of their childhood in a way they never could before. It was also a defining part of many of Gen Z's childhoods. The dark reality is that if Pokemon Go proved anything, it's that you were never actually playing a game. The game was playing you.
As it always does. As it always does, guys. But there you have it. The wholesome, heartwarming story of how you participated in mapping your community for the CIA. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? But that's the video, guys. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out. Remember to use my link down below to get 40% off your Keys Handling Studio and claim your free gift.
You might think Playhop is for kids, but let me prove you wrong. There are many different types of games on Playhop, such as simulators, puzzles, arcades, sports. Basically, there's something for everyone. My favorite games are strategies with multiplier games, because there's nothing more satisfying than watching your army grow from 1 to 1,000,000. For real, Playhop has more than 20,000 games for you to discover, so you'll never get bored, and it's a great way to connect with new and old friends. So what are you waiting for? Play now for free.
Welcome to Suno V5.5. This is our best sounding model, but more importantly, it is our most personalized model. We built V5.5 around the idea that the music that you create should carry something of you. Your voice, your sound, your taste. Because V5.5 captures so much musical nuance and timbre, it unlocks 3 brand new experiences for the most expressive Suno experience to date. Custom models, my taste, and the one that I'm most excited to talk about and you've been asking for forever, voices. That's right, you can finally make music with your own voice on Suno. Voices let you capture your own voice and use it to sing in your Suno creations. If you're a singer, you can use your voice in your music wherever you are. No need for a recording setup or a mic or a quiet space to get a demo down. And if you don't sing, you can finally experience what it's like to use your voice in your music for the very first time. It unlocks completely new creative experiences. Let me show you how to set it up. You can upload a clean acapella if you have one, select a track from your library, or record right here in the app. You can even upload a song that has music in the background, and Suno will run a stem split and isolate the vocals for you, but you're going to need between 30 seconds and 4 minutes of audio for this to work. For this demo, I'm going to use this large condenser mic to capture my voice. A good microphone does help, but your built-in mic on your devices should work just fine. Just make sure that you're in a quiet environment.
Yeah, I'm not stealing my voice, man.
Like they love each other very much, but all the time calculation, what will I get, what will I get. The moment the need is over, you must see that. If you become loving, what do you get?
Oh,
nothing. This is for fools who are wise. If you don't do that, one day you will die. Unloved, the greatest possibilities will turn into your curse. It's time to give up. Probably one of the most sought after things in life is love. One of the most misunderstood things is love. One of the most misused things is love in the world. Well, being in love is very different from I love you, you love me. That's a marketplace. Transaction. I will love you, you love me. Once there is a transaction, there is an expectation. And expectation is for profit. Love is not profitable. It's a very conscious, loss-making venture. You may lose everything that you have.
Go to your room, Joshua. Bye. God damn it, man.
Oak Hill has prepared me with a variety of opportunities, including social skills, teamwork, and leadership. Oak Hill is helped.
See, Hunter Tatum told them is we live. Man, whole gang in man, is the whole gang in here? Hey, Justine said a whole gang in here, man. How many people on the load up, man? Let's see how many people in the waiting room right now. How many people in the waiting room right now? Let's see. How many people?
Inclusion has been our greatest strength. Diversity has been our greatest strength. And I hear you talk about this idea of white culture. What white culture are you talking about, man? What really?
Where's Shakespeare, Dante, Mozart? Where's Philadelphia, the founding fathers?
Yeah.
Oh, I got some white culture for you. Hey, Hunter Biden, don't act like you don't know. We know.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
There it is. That same culture I know and love. It most certainly is. Get off that beat.
Taste the biscuit.
Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel, and salute to everybody that supported us over at thepeoplesgetup.com. Don't forget to send your merch pics to admin at reesewaters.com. This is Street Politics. Hey, MAGA, I told y'all stop playing with Hunter Biden, didn't I? I told y'all don't play with that man.
What is Hunter Biden doing on Twitter? Roasting these motherfuckers. You know, if you own what you got going on, if you own your shit, no one can really use it against you. Like, people are in the comments over here really trying you.
Fine that's been talked about for years. Now on X, he isn't holding back. The former president's son is gaining lots of followers as he frankly addresses his past on a newly minted social media account. But y'all didn't listen, did you? Y'all didn't want to listen. Now look at you.
There is a contingency, a cabal, a word that is, gives it too much credit, of gay Republican men that are closeted and have an enormous amount of self-hate, I believe.
That didn't go where I thought it. That didn't go where I... He said a cabal? A cabal? Like soldiers of fortune? So, is that why Grindr be going out all the time? Is that... Or do they take Grindr offline because they don't want no competition? Is that what it is? I didn't know this was that type of party. That's not even what I was talking about. No, I want to know. Let him finish. I want to see where this goes.
And we all know who they are.
You mean in D.C.?
In D.C.
You know the gay men, the closeted gay men.
We all know who they are.
You heard that?
I don't. I don't. I'm be honest. I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm holding other people's secrets. I take people at face value. I take people at face value. So, if y'all like it, I love it.
Rest doesn't hold you back. It powers your rise to the top.
What? I can't be the only one acting shocked every time we found out somebody in church was on the down low. I can't be the only one. Oh, y'all knew this and didn't tell me nothing? Hey, I know it's a lot of people in D.C. that watch this channel. Y'all knew this and didn't tell me nothing?
Was Lindsey Graham one of them?
Of course he was.
Okay. Okay, I knew about that one. I knew about that one. Okay. I knew about it. I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad.
Damn, I didn't get on this.
You told me.
He said y'all dog my baby.
No, I don't reveal my sources. Yeah, it was Laura Loomer.
Pops got too much honor.
We are not calling Lindsey Graham gay. No, we're not. But these other people are.
Laura Loomer, in that sworn deposition wherein she also claimed that Marjorie Taylor Greene has Arby's roast beef sandwiches in her pants, claims that it is well known that Lindsey Graham is gay. Then she tweeted about it, saying she was under oath, so she had to tell the truth.
And I don't say that and as to say something negative, as my grandmother would say, never speak ill of the dead. I wrote what I wrote about Lindsey Graham and the Lindsey Graham that I want to remember. But everybody knew that Lindsey Graham was gay. And there are a whole list of other people.
Why didn't they say anything? Because I ask you that because he was.
I don't know. You tell me.
He was writing and proposing legislation and passing legislation that was detrimental to the members of the LGBT.
Well, that's a fact. Don Lemon got him there. He got him there. That's why they was coming out the woodwork after he passed. That's exactly why they was, yeah. And in fact, I think some of the people that was coming out the woodwork actually knew him better than his sister. I don't see why they didn't get a Senate seat, if we're being honest. Some of them should have. Emergency service were called to Lindsey Grenada's home. Lindsey Graham is unmarried and has no children. Who would be with him at night in his bedroom to call medics? Well, why would you put that photo there? What does that photo have to do with who was there? I don't. Now that Lindsey Graham is dead, many new clients and victims are speaking out. Actress Jessie James Rose just opened up about being one of them. Despite Lindsey's sexuality being an open secret in D.C. for decades, he ceaselessly harassed and demeaned LGBTQ people while in public. Just woke up to find out Lindsey Graham is dead. LOL. Most of you know him as the homophobic senator from South Carolina, but to me, he will always be the man who paid a Twinkie pre-transition college student. Hey, that I didn't sign up for that.
All these other people also seem to think Lindsey Graham is gay.
Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
He likes to lay on the floor and I pour syrup on him. I'm a little flapjack.
Because you're operating the system that doesn't believe that you should exist, and then you're saying to yourself, like, I guess I shouldn't. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but it's crazy. So can we just gossip a little bit? Did you ever know anyone? Were there stories about him and callboys and hookers or any of that?
No. I mean, look, I'm just enough people that I've found. It's just that it was kind of like a chat there. Yeah. And by the way, it's not just. Look, who else?
Hey, God, back in hell. Hey, I'm with it though. I'm with it. Hey, don't ever send Don in undercover. Don't ever send Don can't be the undercover cop. He cannot. No, he be asking all type of questions. So, what hours do y'all do y'all crime? He asking all type of questions. Well, let's hear the answer though. I want what he say. Hunter. Who else?
You know, I'm already in enough lawsuits that are.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly, who else?
Allegedly, who else? Yes, I'm not going to do this.
Can you give me initials?
Hey, just tell us what color. Tell us what brand drones they got on. Can you tell us what brand drones they got on? Are they using Beijing or just for men? Can you tell us that?
I can't even. You know as well as I do. I mean, are you asking me if Josh Hawley's gay?
Yes.
Are you asking me if Stephen Miller's gay?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Hunter said you know as well as I do. Hey, John Lennon, we need to holler. No, we need to holler. It's allegedly. 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 Allegedly.
Interesting.
Good afternoon. My name is Jordan. Oh, my name is Joe. I'm Ethan, your Honda certified technician. I'll be working on your vehicle today. Front brakes are right around 30% life, so I will send you over a quote for that. Find that your left rear tire has 80% life left. Left rear suspension's in good shape. Your service writer will be with you shortly, and I thank you for your time.
Replace their windows with vinyl, which didn't last. Now, vinyl is being replaced with something scientifically proven to withstand the test of time. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex material windows. Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, beautiful and energy efficient. People love our windows and our exclusive signature service experience, not to mention these incredible savings. Don't miss out on the chance to get beautiful replacement windows at an affordable cost. Call or visit us online today.
I really don't know.
Okay, let me tell you.
Are you asking me if Speaker Johnson's gay? Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. So,
yeah. So, let me just...
Give me another minute and I come up with 6 more names.
Wow. He hit him with Josh Hawley. He hit him with Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson shocked me. I'll be honest. Speaker Johnson, that knocked me out of my corn socks. It certainly did. I'll return the favor and giving you a compliment, but I don't know what you look like. Are you in town for a couple of days visiting D.C.? Yes, I am. Are you offering me a tour? I can give you one. I have a few contacts. We can go to the Dabney for dinner and then back to my place. And wow. Oh, straightforward, I see, LOL, especially from a man who won't show his face. Very discreet here with a few kids, not trying to mess up my situation. Oh, and there we have a selfie. What time should I pick you up from your hotel? Damn! I can't imagine who else might have been in that next group of names that he brought up. That's crazy.
It's Johnson. That's sexual.
The amount of people who have confirmed to me personally about his experiences with men is astonishing. At this point, it's an open secret, and why haven't you sued my labor?
The more you know. It really is the more you know.
Allegedly, well. Is this why Christy Owens shot her dog in the backyard? Because they knew too much?
Because he liked women. In latex. Or whatever the things he made out of. No, but he definitely liked women, so he not
You see him
he not in
busy,
that.
Joshua.
Allegedly. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay.
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
Says the guy, have you ever had sex?
Joshua, are you beating on your daddy? Babe. Your son, he ran by and smacked me in the back of my head, boo. You gonna let this boy disrespect your husband?
You
see how big this nigga is?
You're going to have a whole nother reason
I'm not fighting this
to be mad at Hunter Biden.
Joshua, I was
after he ate you up.
shooting
This was the clip I was talking about. I don't know why you went there with it, but put a pin in that. We'll come back to it.
People don't want to live around that. You know, in Chicago, it rolled on into the summer, and it wasn't, let's say, the anger of the oppressed and the disenfranchised. They were looting. They were looting in parking there. The criminals. Yeah. Who are mostly black. Is that not true?
That maybe, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know why you got in that you had to make that your target. And so, are you saying that the problem with the 26-year-old white kid living in suburbia outside of Chicago and his feeling of being disenfranchised is because there was looting, rioting in Minneapolis by black people, and it's black people that are doing it?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Metcalf was that he got stabbed in the neck at a track meet. And the problem with our city in Chicago is that the Magnificent Mile is gone, and now the Tower Place is gone because of all the crime.
Nick, in fact, an entire generation of African Americans is that they've been getting killed by cops for decades. What are you talking about, Nick?
You think commit crime?
Okay. Now, Maga, let's do this because Hunter Biden raises an interesting query where he is saying that you use your platform to posture that the problems afflicting your 20 whatever year old white kid in suburbia is black people doing crime in Minneapolis, and it's fascinating because one of the things that they love to put out about the black community is the fact that even though we're aware of how many barriers have been placed in the way of us being able to have full agency over life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this country, just look at, I don't know, the presidents, the senators, the congressmen. That tells you everything that you need to know. I just love you. Now, Hunter Biden put forth the idea that Nick Fuentes, you use your platform to assert that the problems confronting a 20-something-year-old white kid in suburbia is black kids doing crime in Minneapolis. Now, that's funny because one of the things that you guys love to push out about black people is use as a weapon the fact that we have not been able to achieve full agency over our own life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if you question that, just look no further than the U.S. Senate. So this is my question. How does your inability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness fall on the people who have no power over said life?
I spent years writing for other people. This time, I made something for myself. I've written a lot of artists, but this one is fully mine. I wrote it, shaped it, and built the direction from start to finish. Here's how. I find my lyrics into Suno and explore some different style ideas I have. Rest for some of the settings and production until I found something I liked. Suno means getting my song.
I mean, you can blame whoever you choose to. That doesn't make it true. And if you would have landed on a correct target, you might have been able to dig yourself up out of that hole. What's that they call? Bootstraps?
Nick, what? That's not true. That's not true. Are you saying that police brutality as it relates and racism in the police force in the way in which police treat African Americans? Nick, you can grow up here like I did between Wilmington and Philadelphia. And if you were a black dentist and you lived in Wilmington and you commuted to Philadelphia, the chances of you being pulled over by a state trooper either in Delaware or in Pennsylvania are about 50 times that what it would be if it was a white guy. 50 times. And so what you're trying to tell me is that the problem in America right now is that a 26-year-old white kid who lives in suburban Chicago doesn't feel like he has access because he's been canceled or he's been woke, and the problem is black people.
I didn't say the problem's black people.
Well, you just did, Nick. You just said
the problem is crime.
Oh, maybe you forgot today the problem is black people. I could forgive Nick, but he forgot today the problem is black people. It gets confusing, whether it's immigrants, whether it's Muslims, whether it's women, whether it's gay and trans. It gets confusing. It gets confusing who the problem is today. But Nick, yes, you in fact are making the case that the problem is black people today. Reminder.
Oh man! Hey!
Make sure you tell them everything.
And we know who's doing the crime in Chicago. The carjackings,
Everything you be telling
shootings,
me.
takeovers. We know why there's no business on the Mag Mile anymore. It's because they steal cars, they drive them through windows. And listen, black people are some of the biggest victims of the black crime. But we're not allowed to talk about it because of the racial.
We're not allowed to talk about it. We're talking about it right here. You have a platform in which millions of people listen to you, Nick.
Oh, you know who's some of the biggest victims of the white crime? You want to talk about it? Are y'all ready to talk about it? No. You're never ready to talk about it.
5 pardoned January 6 rioters have returned to prison for crimes involving exploitation of children. Theodore Liebenberg, Kyle Clayton, Andrew Tuckey pleaded guilty. David Daniel or Andrew Johnson is charged with repeated
Well, after Elon had to buy Twitter and open it up. It wasn't like that before. I was banned from everything for many years. So no, you weren't allowed it. You're right. We can talk about it now, but that's only because the big guy won.
And we definitely know what they mean by open it up, are we right? We definitely know what they mean by open it up, because I'm pretty sure you could talk about crimes in the before times. What you couldn't do was drop ends. That's opening it up. That's what was needed, apparently, for this discussion.
You went from being banned on Twitter to being on YouTube to creating a entire show. I know you're not, but now you have Kick, and now you have all of these other things. You have an enormous platform. I want to find common ground of how much of a shithead Donald Trump is. We can get there. We can get there. Okay. What I don't understand is how you didn't recognize that in 2016, and how you didn't recognize that in 2020, and how you didn't recognize that in 2024. Because Donald Trump hasn't changed. Donald Trump hasn't changed at all. Donald Trump has been Donald Trump since the an immigrant to this country.
Goddamn right.
You don't need to talk about
Biden. So glad you rang. Why they didn't recognize that in 2016, why they didn't recognize that in 2020, and why they didn't recognize that in 2024. Huh. That's interesting. Well, in 2 of those instances, he was running against women. In 1 of those, he was running against a woman of color. And in the one in which he wasn't, he lost. So, tell me why they did. Because you are correct. Donald Trump didn't change. He sure enough did not. He sure enough did not. But he got all of that grace. And here we are, a decade removed from Barack Obama being in office, and they're still using him for clickbait. You tell me why they didn't recognize it. Oh, but no racism, right, Nick? No racism.
That's great. I really don't like that guy. And so, what I want to know, though, is that I don't know how we get past this idea that the biggest problem that you have with your personal situation and how you extrapolate that to the situation of other white kids that are your age, that feel disenfranchised, that feel left out, that feel they don't have a shot at the American dream, is because of black and brown people, because of Mexicans, because of Venezuelans, because of Haitians, because of it's all these others.
And is it not weird that it's always a different other? Is it not weird, Madam? If you had a friend, and it was always a different cousin that he was in love with, you know what I mean? Like every single week. Every single, let me tell you, this is the one, you know, every single week, you'll be like, you know what I mean? Why don't you just take some time to yourself? You know what I mean? Oh, why don't you get out the neighborhood? You know what I mean? Meet some new people. You would like, you would know something was wrong if your man was falling in love every single time he bumped into a new customer. You wouldn't know. But yet it makes perfect sense to you for the other to always be the ones that are standing in your way. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
The Molly Nuggets here at Molly Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're excited to invest in our new team, new facility, and community. And during the Make This Fest,
Can you give me 1 second, Poopa? I'm almost done.
You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious.
It's always been. We need to build a wall. Where's the wall, Rick? You never built a wall. Why'd you vote for him in 2020? Why'd you vote for him in 2024? I didn't vote for him. Okay, well, okay. My point being is that whenever you identify your problem as being something that is other, that you can point to, that's a minority, that is a group of people, that's the Jews, I mean, before, remember, all of us, you know, it was the Irish Catholics who were all committing crimes, who weren't allowed into bars, who weren't allowed into, because you know why? Because they were dirty, poor, non-Europeans. They were Irish. Every time it's wrong. Every time history has proven that that's to be wrong in the United States of America.
That's goddamn right. Hunter Biden is cooking right now.
Give me 1 second,
he certainly
baby.
is cooking right now. So you mean to tell me that the descendants of groups that were considered filthy, that had to be systematically removed from proper society, now act like that isn't a thing once they have made their way inside the tag of white? You know, I probably need to add an addendum to the pick-me files because I've had a lot of smoke for a lot of the pick-me's on the right wing, but I've been hanging a little too far down the brown paper bag depth chart because some of y'all over here don't got no excuse. As a matter of fact, RFK, wasn't you trying to relate to black people? Talking about how the Irish had been disenfranchised? Wasn't that your home? Wasn't that your home? But what you didn't do was advocate for the people with us. That's what you didn't do. What you did was point your finger. Oh no, they took him down like roadkill.
And Bobby also suggested an appetizer featuring his favorite cut of male raccoon roadkill.
I remember crosses being done when I was a kid at Cincinnati Catholic President. A lot of them I was called a Mick, an apple snatcher, all these anti-Catholic slurs when I was a kid.
You said apple snatcher?
And it never bothered me.
Did you say mackerel snatcher? That's
And that's the kind of resilience that we want to give to black American children.
mackerel, like the fish.
So that they have so much confidence in their own future that when they do encounter the inevitable racism, that it will bounce off them. And then we don't have to stop racism altogether.
Every black person who was sitting there listening to Robert F. Kennedy, if they didn't cut his monkey ass out, shame on all they sorry ass.
Every time, inclusion has been our greatest trait. Diversity has been our greatest trait. And I hear you talk about this idea of white culture. What white culture you talking about, man? What literally
Shakespeare, Dante, Mozart. We're in Philadelphia, the founding fathers.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some white culture for you. Hey, Hunter Biden, don't act like you don't know. We know.
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
There it is. There it is. Hey, that's that culture I know and love. It most certainly is. Get off that beat.
Taste the biscuit.
That's your white
How about the
culture.
Count of Monte Cristo? Would you consider that part of our white culture?
Sure.
Okay, well, it was written by a black man in France in the 1700s.
In a milieu of European civilization.
So what?
Because
So what?
you're
It's
picking
not
out,
really
you're picking
black,
out one
right?
example. It
I'm not
really
just
is.
picking out one
It
example.
really is.
That's, listen, look, I'm not. I'm really not.
Bro, you moving the goalposts out the stadium, dog. You moving the goalposts out the whole stadium. Now it's the civilization and okay, I got you. So the things that happen within the civilization. You know, hey, I can understand the amount of mental gymnastics you would have to do at this particular point in time. In the year of our Lord 2026, where the head of your white supremacist movement is sitting in the 30s, is polling worse than anybody we've ever seen sit in that seat in the history of this country, I can understand you need to do some gymnastics right now. It's down bad.
I took one instrument and made a full tune. In my head, I'm hearing some hip-hop drums, horns, cymbals. So I drop in my keyboard part, describe the vision for the track, and build the rest therein and consume it. That simple chord progression is brought to life, and now I can keep adding metal notes on top. So I just download the stems, drill right into my DAW, and finish out the track. Your idea is the starting theme, and soon you help you build the rest. Good afternoon. My name is Jordan.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm Ethan. You're on the certified technician. I'll be front brakes are right around 30% life. I will send you over a quote for that. Find that your lift rear tire has 80% life left. Lift rear suspension's in good shape. Your service writer will be with you shortly, and I thank you for your time.
How many did he sleep for? 1, 2.
Hey guys, I think we're reaching what's called a rock and a hard place. Let's talk about it. No, let me respond to this because you tell me I'm always blaming the other. No, Nick, for real.
He said a rock in a hard place. Is that a grinder joke right there? That was the no. That was the Don Lemon video. We don't left that conversation behind.
Here's the thing, is that the way that you talk and throw out these historical facts, which, by the way, aren't some facts. Okay, ones aren't facts. Well, as it relates to the Civil Rights Movement in 1968, the reason why we're all in the problem that we're in is because the Civil Rights Act passed in 1964. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed and shot by a white racist, white supremacist in 1968. On a balcony of a motel. That's the root of our trouble, because an entire people that have been disenfranchised and enslaved for over 400 years.
We're sick of hearing about that, though. It's 2026.
You may be sick of hearing about it, but you know what? They aren't. And I'll tell you what, Nick, here's the other thing.
It's America.
Okay, but Nick, you can say stuff like that, okay, without having to say it like that.
That is interesting. Get over it. This is America. But that doesn't apply to y'all now, does it? Huh? That doesn't apply to y'all now, does it? Y'all don't ever have to get over it. Huh? It's crazy to have this amount of grievances and say somebody else got a victim mentality. That's nasty work. That is nasty work. What was it that Vivek Ramaswamy said? He said the slavery of affirmative action and how that has damaged the psyche of of the Black American, but that certainly doesn't apply to the Groypers, now does it? That doesn't apply to MAGA, now does it? And you know what else doesn't? This whole idea of your inability to hear grievances about this country, because the first thing y'all love to throw out is if you don't love it, then leave it. Yeah, y'all sit up here and complain every single day. You know, without a hint of irony or nothing. And here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part, Nick. Because you are free, and I think you probably would. You are free to tell me it is different because I am white. You're free to say that. We know what it is. You're free to admit that. That's totally fine. But the price of admitting that means kneecapping and eliminating any argument you could ever have for deserved placement in our society. Because you made it solely about the shade of your tan. Yeah, it ceased to be about anything else. And we know it's not about anything else because of the amount of goalpost moving and mental gymnastics you do for what's happening over here. Yeah, see, if y'all were smart, you would have policed this here, so you can still have a case. You police this here, you might have still had a case. But you let the Jake Langs and the Patriot Fronts of the world just let their racism flags fly free.
Look at the contract. You laying this one before you
Right in the metro, going in and out of 7-Eleven. Ain't supposed to be no service. Ain't supposed to be no service. Racism going in and out of 7-Eleven.
And then you gaslight Marty and they think they can care about his so it's
didn't bother to put a shirt on. No cover whatsoever. Y'all made that decision. And this is the cost.
Oh, you sad here.
Who's that over there? Yo, I didn't say it was men out here with no shirt on.
Once you cut it, it don't grow back.
See, that's what Hunter Biden was talking about. That's exactly what Hunter Biden was talking about. We got
like when I was
it's going to get it dedicated. No, because now I'm digging in. No, YMCA don't make it no better. What do you think that looks like?
You might think Playhop is for kids, but let me prove you wrong. There are many different types of games on Playhop, such as simulators, puzzles, arcades, sports. Basically, there's something for everyone. My favorite games are strategies with multiplier games, because there's nothing more satisfying than watching your army grow from 1 to 1,000,000. For real, Playhop has more than 20,000 games for you to discover, so you'll never get bored, and it's a great way to connect with new and old friends. So what are you waiting for? Play now for free.
Ain't none of my kids had no airflow, fully airflow.
Replace their windows with vinyl, which didn't last. Now, vinyl is being replaced with something scientifically proven to withstand the test of time. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex material windows. Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, beautiful and energy efficient. People love our windows and our exclusive signature service experience, not to mention these incredible savings. Don't miss out on the chance to get beautiful replacement windows at an affordable cost. Call or visit us online today.
Every time she get in mine, I just kept doing it. Then I did the twist downs. One time somebody got placed my girl here, the book she went on.
It's the type of hair you wear around the house when you get older. And they said, "Oh, your hair cute when it's short." And then you turn around and go leave the bathroom coming out and your hair down to your back. What the fuck? That's that black girl man shit. You wanna play? I wanna play with you. I got a recipe. I know it's almost time to cook something. Kids need some milk.
Alright. I
I
don't want to the store.
Oh, y'all tell I don't have to do this and I'm not putting anything. That's why I was taking Friday off so I could try to heal. I'll go back to Stockton or something. Whoa, stop. I can't stay optimistic. Yeah. People thought I was joking. I said, y'all got 2 to 3 people in 1 hour, but remember, I told the car, I don't believe you did 16 times. I mean, you ain't got it for me to go. When you got one section, you got to go to another. That's 16 hours, but you get topped from 6 to 8 hours to one section. In the other section, you get 6 to 8 hours. That's why they should have 2 people.
You know how you stop people from not believing you? Don't talk to them.
True. Listen to me, she was like, I tried to tell Pam last time and tell her to do a transfer and all that, but she told me no. And she said, when you was there, every time you did go to the meeting, I told them how you was the best, one of the top best workers. I said, yeah, well, I'm glad you did. And when you was off, Pam would tell me how horrible I was. Oh, she said, that girl leaving. She just didn't have enough to today. We can't worry about her no more. I was like, yeah, I don't. I said, why y'all still stuck on them same boxes? I ain't been done. Carrington, I don't know if you know Carrington, but Carrington and Josh, they taught me how to downstack and keep it going. Where so it may be harder for some, but easier for some people. The reason why I get done so fast, because one, I know my eye. 2, I just downstock, I'll box them, I know where they at. I just keep throwing the boxes down where they're supposed to go at. Where they're supposed to go at. If I know trash bags go on that side, I throw the trash bags on that side. If I know candy go right there, I'm gonna throw the candy right there. If I know Reese's go near the Hershey bars, I'm gonna throw where the Hershey bars go at. So every day you in your aisle, you should know where shit go up by then, unless somebody's changed it demise. And rarely would they change it unless it's an upgrade or something. But that won't be till like 6 months in or something like that. So you should know your aisle by now, so it shouldn't take you all day to stock an aisle, because now at this point, you're doing box by box, and you can just take all your shit out the box, break your box down, throw it in the cart. Just throw all your shit where you know it goes at. And then just have them put them up on the shelf, and then you can do it as you go, because I did mine and zone. So I was down stocking, throwing them, putting them on the shelf and zoning. That's why Miss Tanisha wanted me back. Out of all 3 y'all who get y'all transfers back, why am I the only one that can get a transfer? Exactly my point. But I was one of the top. Me, Dilbert, Jay. She was crazy working. Jay and Dilbert would never do them. It was I think another person named Stanford. He's a good worker, but he's by himself with it. So I don't know if you consider that as easy or hard, but you only got one section. But like I said, I had 2. Everybody said, I know you had infants. And I was like, yeah, I didn't have just infants, y'all. Y'all remember I had paper chem infants. I had coffee, bakery infants. I had domestics infants. I had hardline infants. So I was put in 2 places. I already had a second infant. So it was not one time I was just an infant and I gave a kid. I got told I was really listening to them like, bitch, you put me in a different aisle. You put me in one of the hardest aisles. Because not only that, you giving me a heavy aisle, and then you going to throw me in another heavy aisle. And then when I'm actually zoning and damn near done, you're going to tell me I'm moving slow. Well, try to coach me in the office, and then me, you, and the coach is sitting here looking at each other ready to start, and you want to talk about something stupid, and we having a side conversation how stupid this is, and we leave. Like, nigga, it wasn't, you did nothing. Now, look, you leaving, and you have nothing to show for being nasty to me. That's why I said, oh, yeah. That's why I never told her why I really left, because I'm like working hard, I'm killing myself, I'm not getting no help. And then you telling me how I'm doing a bad job when I got 16 pounds every other day, bitch? You crazy as hell. And then I bring it to Miss Talisha, and she's like, "No, I talked about you every single day. You wasn't in that meeting. You went straight to the floor. I just wanted to." I said, "But yeah, but you ain't really defend me because you don't be here. So I have to deal with all of that while you're not here." Tell me how horrible I'm fucking doing, bitch. That's why every time I cussed her out, Karen said never told me I was wrong. He never.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yes. Why? Do you want to see what your husband has been up to when you're not looking?
No, I trust Remy with all my heart. I just wanted you to be aware that you ain't the only one. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was fine. Thank you. Follow my lead. Or don't. Damage sustained. Need assistance. I must be off my game. Your mind is mine.
Which hero do you think you want to be today? Now, who am I gonna banish from this match? Pick your hero. Or villain, I'm not judging. Seconds before you attack. Get ready. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it? Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. They captured the mission area!